Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm your host Stan, and today I've got another 1.5 patch battle for y'all. I'm going to be playing as Vampire Counts, and my opponent is going to be Captain Bloodflag playing as Talabecland. But let's go ahead and go over the army compositions and then start the battle. But over on his left flank, he's got one unit of Demigryph Knights with halberds and a unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun. He's also, for his infantry corps, has about 3 units of Talabecland Swordmasters, and in the back he's got 3 units of Greatswords. Over here he's bringing a War Altar of Sigmar to kind of help bolster his morale against some of my undead units. And then he's also got a Empire Great Cannon, and in front of him, or in front of that cannon, he has about 3 units of Empire Halberdiers forming a nice pike line, and about 4 units of Master Engineers with Hochland Long Rifles, and he's also got a unit of Hellstrom Rocket Battery in the front. Over here on his right flank, he's got a unit of Demigryph Knights, and he's also got a unit of Outriders, and that is pretty much going to round out his army. There is 1 unit of those Hochland Long Rifles in the back, but, you know, I don't know if he meant to deploy them out here, because all of his other ones are in loose formation, so it may have been just left out in the cold. Over here for my army, I have about 2 units of zombies. They now can be hidden. They kind of lay down in the ground, and whenever they're disturbed or whenever you move them, they kind of rise up out of the ground, which is a really cool aesthetic. Over here I've got about 2 units of Graveguard Halberdiers and then 2 units of just regular Graveguard. I've also got about 2 units of Bat Swarms, which come very numerous. They have about the same stats as zombies, but they are much, much faster. They're really good for tying down artillery units or skirmisher units. I'm also going to be bringing a unit of Crypt Horrors, which look fantastic in this mod. They operate a lot like Ogres with really high HP, I think like 7 HP. They got a really good attack and charge and pretty good defense, so really good shock infantry. Behind them, I got about 3 units of Crypt Ghouls, and then I got 2 units of Drakenhof Guard. Over on my left flank, I have a really big cavalry force. I've got 2 units of Vampire Black Knights, 2 units of Blood Dragon Knights, and then 2 units of Knights of the Black Grail. And those are going to be the armies, folks. Let's go ahead and go full speed and just watch Talabecland and the Vampire Counts fight for supremacy. But I am going to be marching my zombies up. You're going to see them kind of rise up out of the ground. They no longer are going to be hidden. And then I am going to charge my Bat Swarms up as well to hopefully disable some of his artillery. I don't believe Bat Swarms can rout, so it's, you know, they're very numerous, so you can really throw them in there without worrying about, you know, about them routing. This unit up here is just going to get just destroyed by his Knights of the Blazing Sun and his Demigryph Knights with halberds. Started at 250 and is already below 100 and dropping very fast. My other unit my other unit of Bat Swarms was able to get up to the Hellstrom Rocket Battery fast enough to pretty much make him pull his battery crew off of the Hellstrom rockets, and then I am going to be picking off a few of these Master Engineers with Hochland Long Rifles, and honestly, they did a really good job over here on the right flank. Killed quite a few of those Master Engineers. They probably already paid for themselves considering they're only 200 gold a unit. Very, very good at harassing other kind of lighter skirmish units, like I said earlier, but not really good at all in a melee engagement. But this is going to give me an opportunity to start marching up my infantry without worrying about them just getting shot to pieces by that Hellstrom Rocket Battery. I'm going to be charging my Crypt Ghouls up and my Grave Guards. Over here you can see my Crypt Horrors charging up as well, much faster than regular conventional infantry, and they're also going to be knocking over some zombies and Crypt Ghouls as they make their charge upward. Over on my left flank, I am also going to be mobilizing my Cav Force. This typically is not a good idea to bunch up your cavalry like this, especially against an Empire player, because they do have those really just destructive artillery forces, but I was able to pull that Hellstrom Rocket Battery, or the battery crew, away from their Hellstrom rockets, so I felt fairly confident. I also felt like his Demigryph Knights and his Outriders really weren't going to pose too much of a threat to my Cav Force. I do allocate a few Vampire Black Knights over to them to keep them busy and keep them from coming in with a rear charge. Over here, my Crypt Horrors are going to get charged, or a frontal charge. I'm going to lose about a third of them, but they're going to start going to work against those Knights of the Blazing Sun, doing very, very well in combat. They have, or melee combat, they have such high attack. They're going to be able to chew through that cavalry unit fairly effectively. But he has gotten on his Hellstrom rocket, and he's going to be unloading into my Crypt Horrors. Now, this is kind of an advantageous position for me. I am going to lose some of my Crypt Horrors, which is not going to be that good, but he is going to destroy about half of his unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun. I'm going to charge up my Graveguard, and they are going to get caught in that crossfire, though, for that Hellstrom Rocket Battery, and that unit is really going to get just crushed in numbers. I am going to be charging my Dragonhof Guard up to his cav. This is really not a very good idea either, because he has a good momentum to get his charge up, but he's going to charge straight into my Dragonhof Guard and absolutely just evaporate this heavy infantry unit from full to almost nothing. With those demigriffs with halberds, they have a extremely potent charge. Over here, I am going to get my cav really kind of involved. I got a really good charge on his left flank, crushed a lot of his swordmasters and his great swords, and then I am going to really start wheeling my cavalry around on his left flank and kind of his rear. I'm going to charge up with my blood knights and do quite a bit of damage to that great sword unit as well, but they're going to be charging in. I'm probably going to lose a few blood knights, but it's a very good trade-off. I am going to have my units kind of sparsed out over here and hopefully start moving my blood dragons. Yep, here we go. Okay, yeah, I'm going to start charging them into those Talabecland swordmasters. They're going to take a few shots from those master engineers with Hochland long rifles, but it's really not going to be enough to stop me. And I'm going to charge straight through into his swordmaster unit and pretty much right into the master engineers as well, as I kind of punch through that line. I do have my Vampire Black Knights, Knights of the Black Grail, I'm sorry guys. My Knights of the Black Grail charging in as well, doing quite a bit of damage to this line. I am starting to surround him over on his right flank, and I do have some of my Cryptors starting to engage in his Empire Halberdier formation. Hopefully going to be doing a lot of work against these halberds. Hopefully I won't get stun locked, but I really need to kind of keep his artillery tied down. He's going to get another really good charge with his Knights of the Blazing Sun into my Grave Guard, and they are going to just evaporate as well. This heavy cav that the Empire can field is really strong, but then my halberdiers are going to start engaging as well into his Knights of the Blazing Sun, and they're going to start very quickly chewing through this unit, and then I am going to get a really nice recharge with my Knights of the Black Grail and my Blood Dragon Knights. Over here, I am going to be charging up my zombies. They do have a charge. It's very slow. They're going to kind of shamble on in, and his Swordmasters are going to start really kind of cutting into those weaker zombies, but at this point, I really do have the numbers, and I do have the cavalry advantage, and over here, I'm just surrounding kind of what is left of his forces. I do have my Blood Dragons over here. I'm going to try and get a charge off on those Demigriff Knights, I believe, and I'm going to charge right into their flanks and the rear with both of my Blood Dragon units. They're going to start falling. They're not really going to just absolutely get decimated by that charge, but it's going to be more like the prolonged melee is what's going to kind of chew them up. Really not many left at all in the Demigriff unit, especially compared to how much cavalry I have left on the field. And that's kind of where my focus was. I didn't really invest too much into heavy, strong infantry. I focused a lot in really strong cavalry and kind of brought like these zombies, these crypt ghouls. I did bring the cryptors because those are just too good to not take. Really excited about these when they come out with, into the live version of the patch, or whenever 1.5 is released, which is going to be really soon, folks. It's honestly, every day that passes, it's getting closer, so I'm very excited about it. But they're going to sit in prolonged melee, and I've really surrounded his forces. I believe he's going to try and shoot in with his Master Engineers with Hochland long rifles, but they have just too slow of a reload speed to do too much damage to kind of blobbed up units like that. They definitely shine at distances. They do have about 14 on their shots, though, or damage-wise, so they can do quite a bit of damage. I'm getting a nice charge into the back of his Talabecland Swordmasters, but one thing that I've noticed is not really any of his units have routed, especially, or even with all of these really just destructive cav charges that I've kind of pushed on him, and some more of my monstrous units that do cause terror. He did a very good job of bolstering his units with that War Altar Sigmar. You don't see that a lot in a lot of Empire builds, but maybe with a refined roster, we may be seeing it more often. But that was the game, guys. You can see I brought a much larger army than he did, but really, when you think about it, I had 2 units of bats that had 250 in each, so that was 500 bats, and I had 500 zombies. So almost 1,000 of my units consisted of those kind of really weak meat shield units. So really fun game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the kill count. A lot of kills with my Blood Dragon Knights, 320. Now, we are in huge scaling, so these are kind of going to be bigger numbers than you would see in maybe a normal or just large scaling game. But still, 320 on the Blood Dragon Knights is very good. Almost nothing on some of my Grave Guard units. Some of my one of my Graveguard Halberdiers didn't get any kills, only 1 kill with this Graveguard Halberdier, so I guess they really didn't do that well against those Knights of the Blazing Sun. Only 4 on each other Graveguard unit, so definitely did not get my investment back on these. A lot of my infantry did not do very well. My Crypt Ghouls did, one of my Crypt Ghoul units did okay, and then my Crypt Horrors got about 82 kills, which is alright. They did suffer a lot of losses early on, so that's kind of understandable why that it might not be a bigger number. Bat Swarms got 128 kills. That's incredible considering they're a 200 gold unit. So very good return investment on these Bat Swarms. Might maybe even be a little unbalanced with their speed, but you know, we'll see. I did get a really good kind of attack on his Hawkland long rifles early on, and then you can see down here the rest of my kills are really going to be centered around my Knights of the Black Grail and Blood Dragon Knights, and my other Vampire Black Knights did pretty good too. But yeah, guys, that was the battle. I hope y'all liked the preview for Talabecland and the Vampire counts. Have a lot more games coming to y'all very soon, so I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time.